Hi, everybody. I want to first start off by saying this is not an attack video in any way, shape, or form. It's more of an explanation to some comments and actually a couple questions that are all related. Um, First, this video is on my YouTube channel, but I'm not posting it on the other Facebook groups because I'm only posting it in this group, in the one that it's posted in now, because the group that this is posted in was my original group. I like this group a lot. I got a lot of support from this group. They were there with me from the very beginning, before I had any followers or anybody had heard my mother's phone call. Um, and now that I have close to 1,000 subscribers, 800, I'm doing okay. The channel does okay. The channel has over 100,000 views. So, and this group was there, a year ago, before when it all started, when I first decided to start going public. And also, this group defended me personally virulently against my mother and father when my mother and father decided to start trolling my Facebook page after I went public. The people on that group went to bat, and they went to bat hard. They were swinging like it was their family, and and I always appreciated that, even though I don't post a lot on the boards because I post my videos, but I'm not, I see blocks of text, and just on my history I start twirling in my eyes. But what I wanted to address is because a comment was made about my language on my videos, and I do understand that I do swear a lot, and I want to explain why. It's not for any type of dramatic effect, or it's how I talk. It's always how I've talked. As you can imagine, the F word growing up in my house was like and or the. It was thrown around like that. But I do know the difference, so, and I'll tell you where it comes from, why I curse on these videos, is because when my first day of therapy, when my therapist in New Jersey, I realized about 20 seconds in that I was going to start cursing, because I already dropped an F-bomb, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I curse a lot. And she just stopped me and said, don't worry about it, talk normally how you normally talk. Anybody, it's about how you feel most comfortable communicating. So the reason why I curse is because it's a visceral reaction, because I'm going back to that time and place in order for me to run this channel. It's just the way I have to be able to speak, and in order for me to do it, there are other things I have to do as well. But being able to speak freely and kind of shoot from the hip. I don't really pre-plan much what I'm going to say. I don't write anything down. I'm really free-flowing most of the stuff from memory. And the person who made the comment I like very much, so it's not even like I have anything against that person, or and I'm not even sure that the person who made the comment about the swearing, I think she almost felt bad about it at the same time. But I'm at a point now where it doesn't bother me, and my only concern with it is that, and her concern was, she was listening to it, and I dropped an F-bomb with her, and her kid was in earshot, and she said the cursing was a trigger. And I understand that, because so many of us have been cursed at and swear at, and I can understand where the word can be a trigger. But my thing with it is, I think this is my 35th or 36th video. I'll make another video tonight. I'll make it 37th. And my concern is, if at this point, you got to know what my channel's about. There's some sort of like suggestion, like you got to put it at the beginning. If there's a disclaimer, I can't put it at the beginning because I don't know how deep I'm gonna get or where it's gonna go. I can't make it just a pre-disclaimer for something that hasn't happened yet. But my concern is, and she made a comment later on, because there was some back and forth about it, and none of it bad, none of it confrontational, but she's at the end, one of the last comments she made was about her mommy radar going off about the cursing. And I understand that, but my concern is this: I have been talking about pretty brutal subjects here in every video, whether it's me getting raped by a bunch of men, or molested by my own mother, and the beatings and the name calling, and the sexual inappropriateness of my family and my grandparents, the swinging, you name it. I mean, my only thing is, like, your mommy radar, and I'm not telling you what should set it off, or someone else who's at a different stage of their recovery would take that as all they heard was an F-bomb. They didn't hear about anything else I said. And that is a risk you run, when you curse, because, it can be a trigger for some people. But my concern is, if your mommy radar is going off on the cursing and not the child molestation, you have to be in tune, because you have to be in tune to that as well as what you're listening to. I mean, I would suggest, if you have children around and you don't know exactly where they are and you're watching my videos, wear a set of headphones, because I'm going to talk about brutal stuff. And as the memories come, and I work through it, there's going to be brutal subjects talked about. There's going to be swearing, and it's not done on purpose. It's not done to shock anybody. It's a time and place thing. And when you go back there, it's going to come out. And anybody who's talked to me offline knows I curse anyway. So, I mean, I do know I curse a lot, but I do have, believe it or not, the ability to turn it off and turn it on. I mean, I wouldn't have been as successful as I was in the business world for as long as I was if I didn't have the ability to turn it on and turn it off. But staying on that subject, I've gotten a couple questions about the founder of this board, the original founder. And anybody who's asked me privately, I've made my feelings pretty well known about the doctor who used to run the board, and what that doctor did at the first sign of trouble, really bothered me. This doctor does know about narcissism, personality disorders, and has a book, and it's America, and it's a free, absolutely sell. But it always, to me, seemed like it was more about selling the book than helping people. And I had a bad feeling, and I'm going to say this, and this is, again, not to attack anybody, but the entire giraffe thing is so detrimental in my opinion. And I'm going to tell you why. The doctor's theory of the reason why you're able to see above your abuser like a giraffe, because you're a giraffe and you can see above it all, because you have. Now, metaphorically, it sounds nice, and as a reminder, she had these giraffe charms, and she would give them away, and I even think some were for sale, or you can get them with a book, or when she did her 1 hour a week on a question, she'd give away these charms. I was always suspect. I mean, to me, it was almost like McNarcissism and a narcissistic Happy Meal with your narcissistic toy charm. The reason you see through your abuser and you can see your abuser for what they are is not because you have the neck of an animal. It's because you're better than them. Okay? Because you're better than them up here and you're better than them in your heart. Not because you have the neck of an animal. That is so pandering, because that takes away from the actual courage it takes to join a group and tell your story and fight against these people. It's not because you have the neck of a freaking animal. It's because you're better than them in your heart, in your mind, in your motivation, in everything you do. These diseases, these narcissistic diseases and these personality disorders cannot be bundled like a freaking Happy Meal. This isn't McNarcissism. And I give a lot of credit to the girls when at the first sign of trouble, this doctor bailed. In 24 hours, bailed. When a troll came on and started problems, well, you know what? This happened last year in 2013. If in 2013 you can't handle an internet troll, and now you put it out there, she put this out there, this group, and wanted the people to start talking, and it was about the book. And the first sign of trouble at an internet poll, she shut it down to protect her book. And left all these vulnerable people, some whose only outlet was that group, high and dry. That's abhorrent. That's abhorrent to me. But I appreciate that group, and it's not has nothing to do with the group. And like I said, the giraffe thing bothered me from the get. And she proved to me, that doctor proved who they were. I mean, she might have some good insight on narcissism. I'm sure she does. She seems like she has a firm grasp on the subject. I wouldn't want her to be my therapist because I proved that she'll bail. And I think she's even reared her head back again, and now that, the board, now that the group was taken over by other people and they kept it going, she still kind of rears her head. And the reason I bring her up is, that same person who made the comment also brought up, some of the things about what that doctor had done. And I would be just wary of anything that doctor kind of said. Not everything, because, she is a doctor. But the rules, the doctor didn't follow her own. She left her own vulnerable people high and dry and bailed. And, yeah, that's my feeling. That's just my feeling on what happened there. And I also just wanted to explain, because there was some discussion on some of the language in my videos. Now I'm about to make another video, so I'll be posting that everywhere. right after this. That one will get a little salty because some things have happened, and I'll get into that right now. So I'm gonna cut this video here. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your support on this board, because this is where it all started. So I do thank everybody, and I'll talk to you real soon. Thanks. Bye.